On the morning of the 26th of November 2016, it was announced that Fidel Castro had died. Castro gained power in Cuba in the 1950s and acted as a fascist dictator for decades, imprisoning, torturing, and murdering thousands of political opposition. When dreadful people die, I never feel the need to celebrate, although I totally understand why many Cubans are. What I do think is important is to appropriately reflect on the atrocities that were undertaken. To my shock, a lot of the left-wing press have been massively glossing over what he actually did. The BBC described him as one of the world's most iconic figures. Wow, that's like saying that Idi Amin was a man that stuck to his principles, or Pol Pot was a transformational leader. And it turns out I can't do satire, as that's what the BBC is actually saying. They go on to say that critics saw him as a dictator. Well, every mass-murdering despot has got to have their critics, right? Why might people have seen him as a dictator? Could it be because he exactly met the definition of a dictator? Ken Livingstone was at it again and heaped praise on Castro, although he did caveat it by saying that initially he wasn't very good on lesbian and gay rights. He sent gay people to re-education camps, many were killed. If that's Ken's idea of not very good, what would he say is bad? You then have The Guardian talking about him as if he was a hero. This is a man that tried to convince the Soviet Union to use nuclear weapons on America.
Khrushchev wrote back to Castro.
He says basically, my dear comrade Fidel Castro, I understand your reasons, but I don't agree with you. Launching a nuclear first strike against the United States will not solve anything, but will initiate a thermonuclear world war in which we will all be incinerated. And he very much mentions Cuba. He says Cuba will be burned in the fires of war. It's a very, very dramatically written letter. And though Castro was seen at that point in Moscow as being slightly nuts for wanting to start a nuclear war.
He handed over power to his brother Raul Castro in 2008, who Obama got along awfully well with, despite Raul saying that it was his dream to drop 3 atomic bombs on New York. We've also seen some current politicians come out with some jolly nice sentiments for Castro. Jeremy Corbyn praised his interventions in Angola and said he will be remembered as a champion of social justice. If you don't remember, Castro sent around 35,000 troops into Angola to protect its Marxist government. Tens of thousands of those against the government were rounded up and killed. That's not to say things would have been great in Angola had Cuba not sent in its military, but what happened there was incredibly brutal. Oh, no, look, surprise, surprise, Jean-Claude Juncker used the term hero. So there you have it. You can torture and execute thousands, you can restrict the press, the internet, create a one-party state, lock up gay people, invade other countries and push for a global nuclear war, but if you're left-wing, you're all right by us. 2016 has been an incredibly good year for getting people to show their political hand. Anyone bigging up Castro is either politically atrocious or a useful idiot for Lenin.